In this lecture, I will be introducing variables. So variables are basically, well, you can think of variables like a box. Let's just use this analogy. So you can think of it like a box, and this box has a name, and within the name, there is some contents, right? So we have a box, it has some kind of name called name, and within that box, there is a contents. This will be the value of the variable. There are three typical ways to define a variable in JavaScript. However, we will use two recommended ones, particularly for the latest versions of JavaScript. So there is var. So var, let's just say name equals jack. And I'm going to display this variable console.log name. So, and in fact, let me just remove these and let me just show you how this works. So I'm just going to refresh. I'll go right to my console. So I go to developer tools, then I go to the console and see what's displayed. There we go. We have jack. So we have a box here, right? So variable, and the box name is name, and within the box content is jack. So that's what a variable is. It's a good analogy. And this type of variable is called a string. There are other types of variables here that exist. For example, I could go age, I could make it a number, right? This is kind of different from other programming languages that exist where you have to explicitly state the variable type like integer, string, boolean, and so forth and so on. In JavaScript, we are doing things quite differently, as you can see. I could also say a variable is male, true. So this is called a Boolean type, which can take two values, namely a true and a false. And I think these are most of the variables that you'll know. And also there are decimal types, of course. But for now, let me just show these. So let me just save here and let me just display them. So I'm going to display age now, which is another variable that I declared. I'm going to display is male, which is another variable that I displayed. I declared. There we go. So jack, age 5, and then true. Another cool way to display here is my name is, and then I just separate this with a comma here, and there you go. My name is Jack. See that? My name is Jack. And then here I could go my age is, and I could sort of use a comma again, and there you go. My age is 5, and my male, and then something like this. And my male then is true. That's one way to declare a variable again. So here's the thing. We don't use var that much anymore. In fact, we do not recommend that you use var. Nowadays, we use let. So you can just go let here and let here, right? This does exactly the same thing. I will discuss these more in detail, why we use let and var and when it's recommended, when it's not recommended, when I start talking about block scopes. So let me just show this. There we go. Nothing really changes. We just go to Jackie here, just show this. And my name is Jackie. So nothing really changes. It does something similar to the var declaration, but there are certain nuances which I will discuss in later videos. So another way to declare variables is const, and you'll find out what const means in a minute. So const, let's just say height, and let's just say it's 1.7. The thing with const is that it's constant. You cannot really re-declare it or rechange it, and I'll show this in a moment. So let's just go here, console.log, my height is, and then I could just go height here, and then I'm gonna go here. And what happens if I try to change this and go height equals 1.8 or something, 1.8 meters? There should be an error, right? You cannot reassign a new value to height. Why? Because it's a constant. It's const, right? If I were to make this let instead of const, we'll see what happens here. There we go. My height is 1.8 meters. Now I can reassign it. In the same way, I could change the age here. I could just say age equals, let's just say 28 or something. And there you go. Now you can certainly use decimal numbers as well, decimal values, and there should be no problems with that. So that's how the basic declaration of variables work. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you very much.